American politics has a new epicenter. It's not Washington, D.C., it's not Wall Street, it's not even Hollywood. That there is an earthquake shaking the country to its foundations, a confluence of events, and it's coming out of Arizona. I'm Steve Green. This is Trifecta, and here to help show you how the heck that happened, Scott Ott and Bill Whittle. All right, yesterday the Supreme Court knocked down big parts of Arizona's illegal immigration law, but kept the key provision that police could demand proof of citizenship or legal status. Scott, is that going to rally Latinos and help President Obama turn Arizona into a swing state, or have they miscalculated here?
Well, I think the Obama campaign has been a series of miscalculations all along. And I think ultimately pandering doesn't succeed no matter who does it and no matter to whom they do it. And so I think ultimately if Republicans stick with a humane approach to anything, that they're going to succeed, and especially with the Obama administration continually trying to reach out to one group or the other as if America was subdividable and as if you're Latino, well, certainly you must vote with all the other Latinos. We don't see you as an individual. We see you as just a little atom of the mass. And so all we need to do is address your interest group, and we've dealt with you.
Oh, so sweet. Just like the stimulus was all we needed to do to fix the economy. Bill, next issue. In true Chicago bare-knuckle fashion, you'll never guess what the Obama administration did in response to SCOTUS. They suspended an agreement they had with Arizona where immigration would help local law enforcement officials ID illegals. The program had been highly effective. Now it's gone, and Arizona is going to be overwhelmed trying to do this themselves. So Obama is using DHS to effectively nullify a Supreme Court decision. How do you think that's going to play nationally?
Sounds like a tyrant to me.
Yeah.
You know, there's certainly a case for immigration reform of some kind or another in this country. I think most Americans would probably buy into the proposition that they'd be willing to do some sort of either guest worker program or do something about the people here if the border was secured. But I think most people are just sick and tired of kicking the securing the border thing down the road. And here's another 10, another 10, another 20, another 30 million people. But putting that aside, you know, what Obama is doing here with these executive orders and with this basically unilateral sort of, I am the king and this is my will sort of thing, is number one, he's continuing to destroy his brand, what's left of it, and there's not much left of it. And all of these things are happening too soon. I utterly think that the gay marriage thing and the immigration thing are a sign of a desperate candidate who more than anything is not getting the applause he's used to and is just flailing as wildly as he can. He'll be going for the puppy vote next. You watch.
Dogs who think they're people, they should be allowed to vote.
They should.
Scott, next issue, of course, is Fast and Furious. On Thursday, the same day the Supreme Court is going to rule in Obamacare, the full House will vote on whether to hold Attorney General Eric Holder in contempt of Congress. This is the story that and Obama's stonewalling that finally put Fast and Furious on the evening news. Are we looking at Obama's Watergate, his Iran-Contra?
No, I don't think, especially Watergate, because in Watergate, as far as I can remember, nobody was shot to death. And in this case, with Fast and Furious, there were hundreds of people shot to death using guns that we allowed to get into the hands of Mexican drug cartels. We encouraged to get into the hands of Mexican drug cartels. This is much worse than Watergate, orders of magnitude worse than Watergate. Yeah. And frankly, to have a guy who is the chief law enforcement officer of our country say, look, we've got 150,000 documents regarding this case, but we're going to give you just 8,000 of them, and you're just going to have to trust us on the rest. I'm sorry, you lost my trust when you lost the guns.
Wow. Great line.
That was epic, Scott.
Great epitaph.
It really was. All right, Bill, last thing. It might seem stupid for a left-wing administration to try and wage a political war on one of the most conservative states in the Union, but I think that's exactly why Obama is doing it. Now, you've watched this guy for 4 years or more. What do you think?
I don't think, Steve, it's so much an attempt to flip Arizona as it is his perpetual division and demonization of various aspects of the culture, which allows him to rally his various special interest groups. So Arizona becomes, the state of Arizona, Brewer sort of off to the side, but the state of Arizona becomes to immigration what Bain Capital is to the economy, what the fat cats are and the one percenters and all of this stuff. It becomes the Goldstein for the 2-minute hate, right? I remember when these laws were first put into effect a year or two ago, when you were having people saying things about Arizona that were just unbelievable. People up in San Francisco saying things about Arizona, but they don't live on the border, do they? I think the entire purpose of this is not to try and flip Arizona. I think it's to have yet another Goldstein for the 2-minute hate, and that this is the guy who's supposed to be the great uniter and the guy who's not going to see a red America and a blue America. His only path to victory now is to dice the country into fine enough slices and pull out just those few of them that will get him just over the top of the Electoral College. And it's a disgrace, and it's going to fail.
Well, let's hope. And you know, Goldstein's, it's the only thing this administration has a surplus of. All right, folks, Arizona today makes me think of Sarajevo 98 years ago. It was a sleepy little place until an Austrian archduke was assassinated there by a Serbian terrorist. And then an overconfident German Kaiser allowed that one death to kick off a series of tragic events that led to the First World War, which devastated an entire continent. Now, in Arizona today, the murder of a single Border Patrol agent because of an overconfident American president could lead to the humiliation of an administration and the devastation of a political party. Payback. It's the Chicago way. For PJTV, I'm Steve Green.